Good afternoon, Ambassador, and thank you for joining with the Peninsula this afternoon.
Fazina, it's my pleasure. Thanks for being here.
Now, we have seen US and Qatar had marked the 50th anniversary of diplomatic relations in 2022. How do you see the future of these relations?
Well, it's a great question. It would be hard to beat 2022 for excitement here in Doha, but we're looking forward to a number of things. We have a strategic dialogue with Qatar. Secretary of State Blinken and the foreign minister inaugurated this strategic dialogue. We'll have people from every agency in the United States coming here to talk about the issues that are important to the two partners. And so we'll look forward to that. In February as well, it's Black History Month. We'll look forward to opportunities to share Black culture, Black music. We have a film festival that we're going to do. Obviously, it's an important issue to me. We have an exchange program, a women's football exchange program that we'll do around World Sport Day on February 14th. And of course, you will have seen the beginning of the Global Women's Economic Security program. We'll look forward to working with Qatar to bring that program to life. I also know that Qatar has a lot of goals for this year as well around sports tourism, around their relations in the region and around the world. And really, we're just looking forward to being good partners, good allies, and good friends to the Qataris throughout 2023. Well, I will tell you anyone who knows the economic relationship between the United States and Qatar knows that we have investment in internet technology, in data centers, in energy, in agriculture. But really, when we think about investment, sometimes the strongest investment is in people, and so we want to learn from Qatar. What their priorities are for humanitarian assistance. They've been so great around the world on food security, on support for women and girls. And so when we talk about joint ventures, one of the ones that will be most important to us is sharing common goals with Qatar on humanitarian assistance. And so that's the sort of investment we think will be really important in the coming year. Well, I think our relationship on security can only get stronger. We have Al Udeid Air Base. We know that Qatar is investing to ensure it's a base that can host Americans and Qataris and act as a foundation for regional security. I think that what we'll look forward to in the coming year is working together jointly on security and defense in the region. A number of Qataris have the opportunity to go to American military schools in the United States. We want to make sure that we're doing our part to support that here, so that the idea of interoperability between our two nations only grows. So 6 American universities here, doing everything from engineering to medicine to diplomacy. We're quite proud of the American universities here. We think that 2023 is an opportunity to grow the relationships between Qatar Foundation and Education City and American universities. We're always cheering on Qatari students who want to study in the United States. Education City is just part of a larger global education effort by both the Qataris and the United States. And so I think that what we look forward to most in the coming year is growing those relationships with Education City, but also seeing Qatari students think about going to universities in the United States. We got a great deal of information about that on our website. We hope folks will see it. But I'll tell you what, education is important to us more broadly than even the great relationship that we have. When I think about my own Arabic language training, I know that Qatar University has one of the great Arabic language programs in the world. And so some of your Qatari students might find me walking around campus going to class over there while I work on my Arabic this year. Well, I think our expectation is that there will be very senior people coming to Qatar from the United States in 2023. Around the strategic dialogue, there will be people who are at very high levels of the State Department. Our expectation is that there will be big opportunities later in the year as well for high-level visits. But this relationship is so robust and so dynamic that it's hard to predict what will cause the leaders on either side to come together to work on an issue. And so I think that's absolutely open for conversation, but certainly we'll look for opportunities to get the highest levels of the United States and the highest levels of Qatar traveling to make sure that we're able to communicate. There are already conversations between Qatar, the United States, Mexico, Canada, to make sure that the best practices and the lessons learned from FIFA 2022 are transferred to North America. It's going to be very complicated in 3 countries, but we're very excited about putting on this World Cup. But we know our best opportunity to put on a World Cup that even approaches the glorious nature of the Qatar World Cup is by listening to the Qataris and learning from their experience and making sure that they're with us all along the way. I think there are some great foundations to the United States relationship with the region. I think that on issues like security and energy and education that we spoke about, on commerce and trade, the United States is very consistent. I want to make sure that it's clear that one of the, I think, most beautiful things about our system of government in the United States is the opportunities for citizens to have their voices heard. And nationally, we do that every 2 years in the House of Representatives, every 6 years in the Senate, and every 4 years for president. But I would sort of push back on the idea that there is a great deal of change attendant to the values, the principles, the foundation of our relationship with our partners here in the region. I think the relationship with Qatar, in fact, is progressing and continues to progress and advance in a way that builds connections on all of those pillars that I talked about: energy, education, security. And so I think that the trajectory for our relationship with Qatar and our relationships in the region is very stable with our partners. Well, our Qatar is important to the United States sort of broadly and writ large. Qatar has been absolute leader in a lot of ways throughout the region and beyond. In North Africa, Qatar's mediation in Chad, their interest in Somalia and Libya, they're leaders in this way and great partners for us. And so I think we would say that moments like the strategic dialogue are an opportunity for us to come together across all of the issues, but that the work that Qatar does in the effort to advance peace and security, we applaud and we only want to support. Well, I think Qatar has been a strong partner. I think Qatar's enthusiasm and interest for attempting to be helpful on that particular file is really important to us. We think it's important for Iran to want to play a positive role in the region. We think it's important for Iran to allow for the sorts of the carrying out of commitments that they've made. And so as important as the idea of having partners who are like-minded on big issues, it's important for those actually involved in seeking peace and a long-term stability in the region, do the hard work of acting in a responsible way. Well, I think our relationship with Qatar is a model for the region. I think it's a model globally. I think there's a great deal of opportunity in this relationship, and so my expectation is in 2023 it will only grow. You and I should set a time in January 2024 to look back on what I think is going to be a spectacular year in this relationship. I consider myself lucky to be the U.S. ambassador here. It's such a pivotal time. The World Cup was amazing and felt like a real gift. But I think that what will be most heartening is the work that we're going to do over the course of the next year to ensure that this relationship only grows and that Qatar becomes more and more of an ally and a partner. And our expectation is that both of our nations will work hard towards peace and security and commerce for the benefit of the citizens and the people of both countries.